2 years after the closure of the Manawatu Gorge Road, residents in towns on both sides of the ranges say their quality of life and the local economy are suffering. It will be at least another 6 years before the new road will be ready. Our reporter Charlotte Cook and visual journalist Ana Tovey went to the Manawatu to speak with locals.
Birdsong has replaced the rumble of traffic on the road that for 145 years was the bustling connection between the Manawatu and Hawke's Bay. Abandoned since 2017 when a massive slip blocked the way, it is now only the guerrilla trampers who ignore the orange cones at the entranceway to brave the dilapidated track that was once the Manawatu Gorge Road. 6,000 vehicles a day are now diverted through the little town of ASHHURST, missing the main road and heading straight down a residential street. Scott Groves has lived in Salisbury Street for 3 years, moving in just 3 months before the gorge closed permanently. He says it's turned his residential street into what feels like State Highway 1.
We went from a silent street to absolute chaos.
Scott Groves says he has to take sleeping pills to be able to get any rest at night, as the noise of trucks shakes the house like an earthquake.
We have a peak hour that starts at 6 a.m. with trucks going through till about 8 a.m. You cannot sleep between those times. In the evening, from about 5 o'clock till about 7 o'clock, you cannot listen to the news inside. Even with the TV turned up, the noise inside the house is that loud.
Mr Groves, who has a disability, finds it's too dangerous to use his driveway as large logging trucks thunder past. He says the transport agency isn't listening and residents are facing at least another 6 years of this while the new road is built. Another Ashurst resident, Harvey Jones, can hear the rumbling of the trucks from his property 2 kilometres away. He says locals are fed up.
They'd like the traffic out at Ashurst because it's just, interrupting our peaceful nighttime. And we used to be able to hear native birds and moorpork at night, and now we can't because of all the traffic's going through.
And despite the increase in vehicles travelling through the area, Harvey Jones doesn't think it's provided much of a boost to local businesses.
Because they bypass the CBD area, they're mostly just going straight through and cutting round the edge of Ashurst itself through the residential area.
But while Ashurst businesses were never dependent on the gorge traffic to survive, over the hill in Woodville, the closure has been a huge blow. The Wind Farm Cafe has been on the main street of Woodville for more than a decade. Its owner, Tommy Lee, says they've survived numerous temporary and now permanent gorge closures by relying on local support. He says they've watched businesses come and go, but people are always hungry and need coffee.
There's absolutely a downturn in traffic, but even with less traffic and people still keen on food, they still come inside Woodville for just a cup of coffee or a cake and a pie. So that's not a big issue. But I do notice that there are less traffic compared to before.
TARARUA District Councillor SHIRLEY says the first few years were quiet for Woodville, with multiple business closures, but now things are on the up.
I think people are hearing about what's coming next for Woodville, and that's the new road. So people are sort of quite charged by that, which is why we've got new businesses in town.
But some people aren't giving up. 91-year-old Noni Sanderland's hand collected 863 signatures for his petition to save the gorge. He says the saddle road isn't well equipped to deal with the 6,000 vehicles driving it every day.
Of that, 2,000 heavy trucks and 3,000 to 4,000 cars using the roads every day.
While he is in support of the new road, he thinks the gorge should be opened for light traffic to relieve Ashurst of some of the strain.
Time will tell how successful it will be, but they have to wait another 5 or 6 years before it will ever be finished. And in that time, I think the cars only could go through the gorge if they will only open it. If they have the will to open it is the big thing.
The new road to Ahua is due to be finished in 2024. For Checkpoint, Charlotte Cook.